Lap 1, turn 5, Les Combs. Lewis Hamilton's front left wheel clips George Russell's Mercedes and Russell is in the gravel. Race over. Before the tires were even warm. The stewards called it a racing incident caused by understeer. 5-second penalty. Case closed, right? Except, look at what that mistake actually did. Russell scores 0 points. Mercedes only banks Kimi Antonelli's win from that race, not Russell's. And Hamilton, he climbs to 4th on track, 2nd in the championship that same afternoon. 1 contact, 1 rival eliminated, and Hamilton walks away with a smaller gap to the championship lead than he had that morning. 45 points now separate him from Antonelli. And Ferrari, they need 73 points just to catch Mercedes in the constructors' fight. Mistake, or the most convenient 5 seconds of Ferrari's entire season? Because here's what makes this weekend even messier. Lewis Hamilton has won the Belgian Grand Prix 5 times. Only one driver in history has won more, here Michael Schumacher, with 6. This Sunday, Hamilton has the chance to tie that record. In a Ferrari, the most successful team in Belgian Grand Prix history, 18 wins, more than Mercedes, more than McLaren, more than anyone. And here's what makes it insane. Ferrari haven't won at Spa since 2019, 7 years. The most successful team at this circuit can't win here anymore, and the man chasing Schumacher's record is stuck inside the one car that keeps giving this race away. So now you've got both storylines colliding at once. A controversial 5 seconds that may have handed Hamilton his championship position, and a legacy record he's chasing in a car that historically falls apart at this exact track. What is actually going on at Ferrari? Since Charles Leclerc won here in 2019, his very first Formula One victory, Ferrari have come back to Spa 5 times. And what have they got to show for it? Third. Carlos Sainz started on pole in 2022, finished 3rd. Leclerc, 3rd in 2023, 3rd again in 2024, and you want to know who beat him that day? Lewis Hamilton, in a Mercedes. The man Ferrari hired to break this curse is the same man who kept beating them here from the other side of the garage. Now look at Friday. Hamilton went out for FP2 at Spa and came back with a gap to Mercedes. He called his exact words, bigger than anticipated. 7 tenths. 7 tenths behind Kimi Antonelli. Charles Leclerc, 11th. 7 tenths isn't a bad setup. It isn't a wrong tire choice. It's the engine. And the FIA's own data proves it. Ferrari's internal combustion engine is 4% behind Red Bull, the worst deficit of any front-running team on the grid. Mercedes, 2% back. Ferrari, 4%. On a track where the Kemmel Straight alone is 1.8 kilometers of full throttle, 4% means Hamilton is losing 7 tenths every single lap. Over 44 race laps, that's more than 30 seconds he can't get back. He could drive the perfect race, and still lose half a minute on the straights alone. And Ferrari know this. Their response this weekend? They ripped off their own invention. The FTM blown exhaust, the device they pioneered, the device every team on this grid copied, gone, removed, stripped off Hamilton's car. The FTM pushes hot exhaust gases toward the rear for extra downforce. It's brilliant at Silverstone. Leclerc just won there with it, but it costs 7 horsepower. At Spa, Ferrari's engineers decided they need those 7 horses more than they need the grip. They're dismantling their own signature innovation just to survive the straights. And that's not a setup decision. That's the pattern. Ferrari builds cars that dominate where downforce matters. Barcelona, Silverstone, Hungary. Hamilton won Barcelona. Leclerc won Silverstone. Those wins are real, but every single time the calendar hits a power circuit, Spa, Monza, Jeddah, Qatar, Ferrari has to tear their own car apart just to stay in the fight. They build for where the car works. And they give back everything at the circuits where it doesn't. And what they keep giving back is Lewis Hamilton's championship. Now the obvious pushback. Ferrari just won 2 of the last 3 races. Hamilton won Barcelona, Leclerc won Silverstone. How can anyone say this team is giving it away? Because we've seen this movie before, and it doesn't end well. 2022 Charles Leclerc led the championship by 46 points after Bahrain. Ferrari had the fastest car at street circuits and high downforce tracks. He looked unstoppable. Then the power circuits showed up. Baku loss, Montreal loss. Spa started on pole, finished 3rd. By the time the summer break ended, Verstappen had the lead and never gave it back. Ferrari didn't lose in 2022 because the car was slow. They lost because the car was fast in the wrong places. Hamilton is living the 2026 version of that exact story, right now, 45 points behind Antonelli, and remember, that gap should be even bigger if not for one 5-second penalty on lap 1. 13 races left. That gap didn't come from the races Ferrari won. It grew at Austria, where the engine deficit dropped him to 5th. It'll grow again at Monza, and again at Jeddah. Austria, Spa, Monza, Jeddah. Everyone a power circuit. Everyone a race where Ferrari arrives with a structural disadvantage, the exact races where Hamilton needs to gain points, not lose them. And here's what seals it. The FIA has already banned the FTM exhaust for 2027. Ferrari isn't sacrificing something they plan to keep, they're letting go of something the regulations were going to kill anyway. The real question is, what replaces that power deficit? Ferrari has an ADUO turbocharger upgrade planned for Madrid later this season. If it delivers, the gap to Mercedes narrows, and Hamilton's title fight is on. If it doesn't, Spa happens again, at every power circuit, for the rest of the year, and that's the verdict. Ferrari's problem at Spa isn't one bad weekend, and it isn't one 5-second penalty either. It's the pattern that's cost them every championship they've been close to winning in the last 10 years. But whether that contact with Russell was a mistake or a gift, he's still trying to do it in the one car that keeps finding ways to give this race away. If you want to see whether Ferrari breaks the pattern or repeats it, hit subscribe. Race analysis drops Monday, and we're tracking every point of Hamilton's title fight all the way to Abu Dhabi. So here's where Hamilton's title fight actually stands. 45 points behind Antonelli, 13 races left, 341 points still on the table. Ferrari, 73 points off Mercedes in the Constructors. The maths says both fights are wide open. Antonelli's already had 2 mechanical non-scores this season. If Mercedes breaks once more and Hamilton wins that race, the gap drops hard. The title is closer than the scoreboard makes it look. But the maths also says this. Of the 13 remaining races, at least 4 Spa, Monza, Jeddah, Qatar are power circuits where Ferrari's engine deficit is most exposed. If Hamilton finishes 3rd at each of those, while Antonelli wins, that's 40 points lost. 40 points wipes out every gain from Barcelona and Silverstone combined. Ferrari's downforce advantage wins races that suit the car. Ferrari's power deficit takes those wins right back at circuits that don't. The result? A championship that stays just out of reach, not because Hamilton isn't fast enough, but because Ferrari gives it away at the same places every single year. That's the pattern. 2017 Vettel led the championship, and Ferrari's reliability broke him. 2018 Vettel led again, and strategy broke him. 2022 Leclerc led by 46 points, and operational errors broke him. Every time, the car was fast enough. Every time, Ferrari found a way to give it back. Hamilton is the latest driver in that seat, asking the same question every Ferrari champion in waiting has asked for a decade. Is this team actually capable of winning where it isn't already the fastest? The debate question is this: lap 1, turn 5 mistake, or the most convenient 5 seconds of Ferrari's season? And separately, of everything Ferrari's done this year, the FTM exhaust, Barcelona, Silverstone, that penalty, which single moment matters most for whether Hamilton actually wins this championship? I want your exact answer in the comments. Not a vibe, a decision. Name it. That video is on screen right now.